always save the day. And if you think we can't, we'll always find a way. That's why the people of this world believe in garnet, amethyst, and pearl, and Steven! All of you!
Series. Wow, that was so cool. And we're gonna keep the cool things going. So the series may be over, but these next gems live on in our hearts forever. The voices of some of your favorite characters are taking the stage to talk about the movie, the series, and so much more. So put your hands together for your moderator, London Jackson, and Steven Universe. Hey everyone, wow. There's always so many people out here. Well, hi, I'm London Jackson, and I am your moderator for the Steven Universe panel. I'm assuming everyone's here for Steven Universe, right? This is my third year moderating Steven Universe here at LA Comic Con, and these women are so amazing, and I love talking to them. So let's just bring them out. Let's just start. So our first is Dee Dee Magna Hall, who is the voice of Pearl. Yay! We have Michaela Diaz, who is the voice of Amethyst.
Dietz. Michaela Dietz. Hi. Well, hi.
Dee Dee, is that you?
It's so nice to see you.
So nice to meet you.
Wow.
We have Shelby Rivera, who is the voice of Peridot. We have Jennifer Pass, who is the voice of Lapis Lazuli.
What are you doing?
And we have Grace Willick, who is the voice of Connie.
Do it for you, girl. Hey. Oh, wow.
So thank you all for being here on this panel. I absolutely
for having
I
us.
know. I love the show, and I know everyone does too. And looking over the incredible 5 seasons and even the Steven Universe movie, this show is amazing because we get to know your characters and the ensemble cast, and we just dive into this whole literal universe. Can each of you talk about what sets this animated show apart from others that are on right now, and why you think it's so special and has such an amazing fan base?
Well, one, we're on it. This is true. Sorry,
That is true.
I love that the show is. Can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, you guys are so beautiful. Hi. I don't even have my glasses on. But I love that the show is so musical.
Yes, the music's
Yeah.
amazing.
I love that this show, I feel like it's so beautifully inclusive, and it's been amazing for representation. I feel like
Yes.
purple space rocks have not been represented in a lot of mediums, so I'm really glad that the show exists for that reason.
Yes, I second that, Michaela. The representation and the inclusion. What other cartoon has ube cakes for Filipinos out there? What? Also, I think everybody can find themselves in the show in a vast array of characters. I think everybody that I've talked to, fans of the shows, people that are brand new to the show, they're always like, I see myself in one or more of the characters. And I don't know if, I don't know. I'm biased though, because we are all on Steven Universe, so I think I think Steven Universe is the best show ever.
Yes, I second, fourth, fifth that. And I just also love how these themes just kind of like sneak up on you. Like something just so seemingly like, oh, this is just kind of throwaway stuff, but everything is so meaningful and there's like so much like deep meaning in everything, and it just the character payoff with everyone's story. You just think something is just kind of a throwaway thing, but then there's like so much great payoff. So, and I love how that really just sneaks up on you, and you're like, wow, this is deep, right?
Yes, definitely.
Piggybacking off of what everyone has said so far, I mean, there's just so much love that is put into the show, and I feel like it's hard to not see that when you're watching it because everyone who works on the show loves what they're doing, and it really shines through when you're watching the show.
I also feel like there aren't many shows that can show something as terrifying as cat fingers, but then also as like heartwarming as Steven protecting Connie with his shield. So I feel like that it's just a wide range of emotion that Rebecca Sugar and the Crooniverse are able to bring to us. So yeah.
Well, speaking of a wide range of emotions, one of the standout moments, particularly in season 5, is when we find out the big reveal about Rose Quartz and the fact that she's Pink Diamond. And
Wait, what?
and I have to say, I had to take a personal day because I was blown away by that. Now, I just want to ask, when did you guys find out about it? Was this set in motion from like the beginning? Was this just, how did that come to be? Because I didn't see it coming. I don't know if others saw it coming, but that's a really big revelation within the show, and it changed everything for Steven and for your character. So how did you find out about it, and what was your reaction to learning that that's the big secret?
So we record on a Wednesday typically, and we get the script on a Monday. So it would be the Monday before that Wednesday, I found out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
I found out about the whole Pink Diamond everything reveal when you guys did. I don't remember usually what I ate for breakfast the day before. So it's kind of one of those things when I watch the episodes, I don't like to look at Twitter or social media because I don't like to see spoilers, but when I see it, I'm in silence and I'm in awe. So I don't really know. Did any of us know that that was going to happen? I don't think so because...
I found it all in real time too, and everyone else
Oh, wow.
was tweeting about it, and I watched it in real time. I was like, oh my gosh, that's what happened.
For me, I found out at a later record because I wasn't recording on the episode where it found out. But I think Steven says something to Connie about it, and I remember being in the booth and asking Rebecca, "Wait, what?" Like, and she was like, "Oh, okay." So, and just walked me through it, and I was like, okay. I guess it's just time to start working and not process that fully.
I remember recording separately for some of that episode and watching the entire show from start to finish in real time was when everything sort of synced in for me personally. But I'm much like, what is that character, you know it. The one that knows things after the fact. That's me in real life. IRL.
Dee Dee, good.
Well,
Dee Dee is so hip.
I am so hip,
Dee Dee.
you guys.
Dee Dee is such a cool mom.
I'm embarrassing my children right now. Sorry, kids.
Well, in that episode, Pearl, it was a really big deal for her because you are so loyal to Rose, and the fact that you had to keep this secret, especially from Steven, and I know it was a very emotional episode. Was there anything that when you went in that Monday to find out about it for Wednesday, did you have to prepare kind of how Pearl would react? Like, did you take emotion from somewhere else, or how did you kind of bring out that kind of brilliant performance that you did in the episode. It was a lot.
Wow,
But
wow.
you were amazing in
Oh,
it.
well, thank you so much. You know, that's very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, what was the question again? Sorry. Did I have...
Dee Dee, basically, how are you so amazing? Yeah.
So,
Basically.
listen, Linda. You know, I really can't take any credit. I mean, it's all Rebecca and the Crewniverse. I mean, they write such wonderful words and beautiful music and draw beautiful, backgrounds and characters, and they have so much backstory. All of that is there for me to just dive into, you know? So I really rely on the material and the voice direction from Rebecca and her team. And that's really how I get to any of the places that I go in the show. I don't really feel like I need to go elsewhere to get the emotions. I mean, this show's got enough feels as it is. I mean, can you agree?
Hashtag all the feels.
Right? All the feels.
Definitely.
Every single one of them. So, you know, that's sort of how I do the thing.
Right. I mean, the show is very much built on emotion and character development. And one of the things that's a major point in the series is the fusion. And at one point, we finally saw Obsidian, who is a mixture of Steven and Amethyst and Pearl and Garnet. So I just wanted to ask, since there are different fusions, what's your favorite fusion, even if it's not with you, but what's your favorite fusion? And kind of what do you think fusion represents in the show, in that universe? What do you think that means to you when fusion happens?
I think my favorite fusion is Smoky Quartz. And to me, I love it because Steven and Amethyst really bond in this very vulnerable time, and they learn how to depend on each other. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I don't really know how to define a fusion. I feel like that's a Rebecca question. But I love them. I love fusion. It's so good.
They're so good, Michaela.
What's
They're
your
so
favorite?
good. My favorite is Obsidian, for sure, because in the movie, when Obsidian forms, my mind was blown. I was like, first of all, when we saw the movie, I was with my best friend Luke, and we're sitting in the front, and the whole time we're just snapping my fingers because I couldn't make any noise. But all you could hear was me and him go, yes! Like, every 20 seconds. I was so excited. And when Obsidian formed, I wanted to stand up, but then it was going to be really, really not, it was just be inappropriate, obviously, in a huge theater for me to just, like, stand up. But it was one of those jaw-dropping moments that, like, I got chills. So Obsidian would be my favorite fusion. However, I think fusions are kind of the unsaid. You know, like when you feel energetically with someone or something, and you know you guys are on the same page, or maybe you knew each other in like a separate life, and you come together and it's like your mind is blown. You either like you really know somebody, or you feel like really attached to something. Like my dog, I feel like if my dog and I fused, I don't know what the word would be.
Charby?
Charby? Yes, Charby.
Charby.
But I feel like that's what a fusion is. You take two energies and you bring them together and you're stronger together. I don't know, that's my opinion.
I'd love to get.
Thanks for that applause,
I
guys.
can't wait to see you and your dog fuse.
Hashtag Charby.
Sharpie.
Yes.
Charby.
I think my favorite was Stag. Oh, yes, Greg and his dad. Greg and his dad. Stephen and his dad. It was amazing. Like I up until that point, I just thought that it was like an experience between, I don't know, a particular relationship. And then when I saw that it was a father and son experience, I was like, whoa, this is amazing. That was one of my favorites, I think, that just really stuck out to me. And Stevani, of course, was my like, when I first saw that happening, I was like, this is the first time we're seeing this kind of thing on a cartoon and an animation. This is incredible. And I remember like looking at my son and seeing, and you know, just experiencing it through his eyes, and it's just like a normal, fun thing for him. Like, oh yeah,
So like every time he sees Garnet, he's like, "Mommy, that's she's a fusion of Sapphire and Ruby," and he understands that kind of experience with two people that love each other and share an experience. So I love them all.
Yeah, I also love Steg. That was an awesome moment for me. But I think one of the things that stood out to me is, I mean, we know that Greg wanted to be able to fuse with Rose Quartz. And so to be able to see him have that with their son is really cool.
Oh, it's like same. I like Opal.
Opal for Opal.
Opal for Opal. Yes.
I wish someone would do a Steven Universe Jurassic Park crossover and have a Stegosaurus. Just putting it out there.
Wait, but Michaela, would the arms be short or long? All 4 arms.
I don't know. Maybe they're guitars. I don't know, man.
Sick. Somebody.
I don't know.
Fan art.
With sharp teeth. Someone get on it.
Okay, well, since you guys mentioned Steven Universe, the movie, I first of all love the soundtrack. I listen to it on a loop. I do. Is there a particular song from that, or just the entire series, that has stood out to you the most, or is your favorite? Since music is such a big deal for the show.
Wow. Other Friends is
Yes.
like on heavy rotation in my house. Same.
Give it up for Sarah Styles.
I love the kind of beat swing sound it has. It's like electro pop
Yeah.
swing. I don't know. It's good.
Oh, the
whatever it is.
reboot song?
No, it's still Other Friends.
Oh,
yeah.
I really like Drift Away. Because that moment for me when watching the movie, I really saw Spinell's character arc, and it was so tragic. I'm like, I totally get you, Spinell, why you're like that. You were left for how many years? 600,000?
Over 6,000 years.
600,000, right? It's a long time. And it was just so beautiful. Her voice, the way Sarah Styles sung that, and the lyrics of it. I think for me, I was like, this is something really special when I heard Drift Away. And we all understood why Spinell is the way she is and why she treats Steven the way she does. And I think it was really earned, that moment of the heart turning upside down and her lashes, she's crying. It's just genius. Genius.
I agree.
I think that some tracks that I love that we don't often talk about are all the instrumentals that Ivy and Sarashu created.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think throughout the series, and certainly in the movie, these tracks really enhance the mood and the feeling, but without overpowering each moment. And I mean, talk about genius. Ivy and Sarashu are, they make me feel things, you guys.
I second that.
My friend told me she was listening to the soundtrack at her house. She's here with her kids too, and she would say, "Hi guys, the mama bears over there, mama, papa, see them, and baby bears." I was telling me that she was listening to the soundtrack, and in all of the little intervals between the songs and every song, the instrumentals, her kids were telling her what was happening during that time during the movie, like all the scenes that were happening in between, which I thought was really kind of cool that they could hear that.
Julian does that too. He'll narrate what's
what I'm
happening
trying to
during the instrumental break. He's like, "Oh, this is when Steven goes into Lion," and I'm like, "You're right." Yeah. He just knows. Yeah.
I love it. But one of my favorite songs, I love all of the songs, but one of my favorite songs is your song with
Zach.
Oh, that song makes me cry.
Shout out to Zach, living his life.
Miss my Zach.
Oh,
No matter what.
yeah, no matter what. That was so fun to record, because I just got to be in the booth with Zach and like try to do whatever he did. It was great.
Well, before I believe we can ask the audience a couple of questions, I just wanted to quickly ask if you found someone who has never seen Steven Universe before, and they're like, what one episode should I check out? What episode would you
Oh God,
recommend?
that's hard.
I think watch the movie.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah. Maybe Mr. Greg would be a fun
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That's a good one. There's just so much that I don't think one 11-minute episode does it justice. Or even if you watch the 42-minute one, the finale, or like, the finale of the last season, I would say the movie just go straight for that 64 minutes.
Yeah.
Why not?
And then you go back Cliff's Notes version of everything, right? Yeah, the movie.
So watch the movie. if
Watch
you
the
haven't.
movie. Watch the movie first, and then go back and watch the entire series.
Or just the Uncle Grandpa crossover. just watch that one. It's a great standalone. Totally canon. Yeah.
Okay, I think we can have a couple people ask questions.
By the way, the cosplay is. You guys are coming strong. Thank you.
Hi. Do they have microphones?
I think they're going to give a mic.
We need to like do a group selfie.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. My question is, the music over the show has changed so much since the first season. How has that played into your character's art, or how has it just kind of affected you outside of the group?
That is a Rebecca question.
Rebecca question, right? I'm sure it plays a lot.
I've heard Rebecca say in certain interviews that when something can't be said, that's when it's put into song and dance. And so there are these really great kind of indescribable feelings or things happening between two people or maybe within oneself, and she's trying to do that through the music. I think once I heard that quote from her, I realized I tried to kind of dig deeper in the lyrics and levels of every song and just see what it was that they were trying so hard to say, especially like with your song and Mr. Greg.
And
Or
also,
It's
like,
Over.
Also, like the different characters are marked by different specific instruments, right? They all have like I know like
Like a
Lapis has
leitmotif
a
or
particular
leitmotif?
piano sound and drums.
Pearls of violin.
Yeah. So those are they form a lot of the emotion with very, very specific instruments and percussion that mark the emotion of these characters. So it's kind of all just written for us, and we just have to show up, right? Because the writing is so brilliant, from the music, like you were saying, Michaela, to the animation. Everything is just kind of laid out for us. But I love how the instruments sort of mark our emotional journey.
What's Peridot's instrument?
There was like a whole chart, I remember,
it's in
right?
there.
Yours is like a kazoo and mine's an air
Right, I
horn.
think I have it.
Love it.
I
We
think
can
I
look it
have
up.
it. Hold on.
Google exists.
I'm gonna Google that.
Okay.
Carry on.
Thank
carry
you.
on.
Great question.
It was a great question.
Okay, I think we have time for one more. You in the front.
Hi. First of all, I love you guys so much. I'm a teacher and I talk to my kids about you guys all the time, and they're just super excited to. So hopefully I can get some signatures for my students. But I was wondering, what was your favorite episode to record and why?
I know these are hard because I have so many favorites, but Mr. Greg is one of my favorites because I just loved that the entire show was pretty much the entire show was a musical. So I love that about it.
I think for me it might be Open Book when Connie is talking about her favorite book series, and also when we go into Rose's room and I get to be two different versions of myself. One evil, or not evil, but gets a little out of hand.
I loved Alone at Sea. That was a good one for Lapis because you really see how she finally stood up to Jasper, and for them to have tackled that kind of subject matter I thought was so brave, and I get a lot of people connecting with that storyline and how they handled that kind of toxic relationship and standing up to somebody that was so toxic. So I just thought that was amazing art for Lapis. And that was a really fun one to record too.
My favorite was Kindergarten Kid because growing up I loved Looney Tunes and Beavis and Butthead and Rugrats and all these, old school cartoons. So recording Kindergarten Kid for me was an opportunity to bring in my physicality because it wasn't a lot of dialogue. It was more sound effects, like a lot of like screams. So that was a dream come true for me. So that's an episode that is really special to me because film is forever, and it's an episode where I'm like, look how many grunts I did in 11 minutes, and it's just like it's a throwback and a nod to old school cartoons that I love so much.
That's so funny because my favorite was Back to the Kindergarten, because I I just love when I'm in the booth with Shelby and she just has to be like, it just was a funny, I don't know.
When I'm out of the bathtub, right?
Yeah,
You're like,
you're
come on,
like-
let's go. And I'm like,
You're just like playing country music tunes. Cool, man.
I also love when we're all in the room together, because then we can kind of feed off of each other's energy and make effort sounds together in a row.
yeah. And we have to stay quiet when other people are
Right.
doing their their tracks, and we're like,
And not laugh.
We have
right?
to try really hard to not ruin each other's takes when we have a funny read. And I'm just like,
Well, I wish we had more time. I honestly do. But we are at the end of the panel, and I wanted to thank all of you for coming up and talking to us about the show. It's amazing, and we can't wait for what's next. So I just wanted to say thank you. You guys
thanks
are
for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. And thank you, London, for having us. Thank you. Thank you, London.
Enjoy the movie if you haven't watched it.
Oh, yes. I can't believe we've come so far. Steven Universe Future, here we are.
Steven Universe Future.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
We're signing as well.
yes.
Oh, come back and see us. Over there. Over.
Smile for a selfie.
Thank you, everyone.